fell, hit his head, and was dead before my mother found him maybe 3 or 4 days later. The fact that now, mind you, he was a player. He had hella women, whatever the case. He had hella sex tapes of him, cracking other women in the crib, all type of shit. He was a player. But for me, the message that I took from that was the fact that he didn't need his family. So in the glimpse of him not needing his family, he died alone to where someone found him days later. They found, his daughter found his body days later because nobody heard from him. So I think if we get back to the values of having the values of community, of having the values of needing each other, the values of having relationships with each other, of gathering around the chimney, the fireplace. If we get back to that, then I think that that's how we save our culture, our society, our communities. And if I don't think that there's no other substitute for that, because there's the only the opposite of needing someone is individualism, and that's what we're experiencing now. So I don't think that there is something to replace that aside from us getting back to needing each other.
But you know how that happens too is when tragedy happens.
I was just about to say that.
When tragedy happens, where is he at? Where are they at? We're like, where are my people that you've never called or visited or even drop off a fruit basket, right? It's always in tragedy that people find that they now all of a sudden need someone. 9/11 is a great example of that, and there are other countless examples. But I'm gonna let Cloud go.
Listen, in the 90s, I'm gonna corroborate what you just said because I was gonna reference what you were saying earlier. And in the 90s, literally the best days on the block would be when there was a blackout. Like whenever there was a blackout, that would literally be the best day because everybody came outside the house, everybody was on the stoop, everybody was chilling, everybody was sharing candles, or whoever had like the candles at their house, everybody would be at that person's house sharing stories. And it's like, I absolutely think it goes back to what Luis was saying earlier about we've civilized the world way too much. We've gotten to the point where we've provided ourselves with every single convenience, and unfortunately, until something bad happens, I don't think people are going to get better. It's funny because I made a video about this morning. I was recording in my car and I was saying to myself about like power outages, and because I was watching a video where they were saying, the government eventually, one of the ways they're going to try to shut down the world is by shutting down the internet. And, that's how they're going to try to divide us. And in my mind, I'm like, well, that would be the worst thing that they could do, because if they were to shut down the internet, everybody would start talking and everybody would start being in each other's faces and communicating again. And that's the last thing they would want, because everybody would actually be unified again. So I absolutely believe there would need to be some type of loss of convenience, some type of, whether it be a loss of power, loss of the internet, loss of cell phone coverage, just something that forces people to get back into a mind state where they have to communicate with each other face to face and need each other. I absolutely think needing each other will be better for the communities in general. And by consequence, maybe more people will get married. And then, it knocks off two birds with one stone.
Well, I'll tell you, want to know something funny too, Cloud? I find it like women would say, I would never date a plumber, I would never date this and this and that. Let me tell you something. If we had a global reset, the type of niggas that most women are attracted to will go out the window. They will find them the tallest, darkest, blackest dude that they could find, that they know that they could survive and do life with, man. Because all that other stuff about all that extra stuff goes right out the window, because at that point it's survival of the fittest, right? Like your priority shifts in what you understand because the conveniency is no longer there, right? And that's just an uncomfortable truth. Most people, when put in a situation when conveniences are out the window, they're going to acclimate to the conditions that they've been presented.
I did want to say that it was something about what Clout was saying as far as basically how things were back in the day. I think the reality of it is that we just have to adjust to the times. So if you find communication more important, then that's just something that you have to do. Wait, what? What?
Oh no, I was just saying that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree with you.
And I think I'm not gonna even finish the sentence, but yeah. We gotta adjust to the times. But I think ultimately we all need, want, and desire someone, right? But I think a lot of us just don't want to endure the pain that we may have suffered in the past from someone hurting us. So I think we just have to get over that and still be open, because we all know what the ultimate goal is here. I don't
Can I
think
ask
any
you?
of us are just meant to be completely alone. We all need someone. In
Can
my
I ask you a question? Like, are women more? Why are women not more open to the idea of introducing the men that they're dating or entertaining to their fathers? Right. I
opinion,
found that the video
Um,
said something interesting that I paid attention. They're like, oh, like I've been hurt by this one, and then I hurt by that one. I'm like, who are all these men that you're allowing into your life that there isn't another man who has some sort of level of respect and care and love for you that doesn't provide some sort of shield of protection to not allow all these things? Do you really think I'm about to let a goon of fucking dudes, yo, do my daughter like that? You crazy. I'm gonna start hanging motherfuckers outside by the phone pole. You
well,
know,
I
like
think,
let them cook. If you
Wait,
like,
what was the
opinion
wait,
about
what
that.
was
wait,
the
just
I think
rephrase the question. Just make it
yeah.
shorter.
Opinion about that. Oh, my bad.
you know, what I say is, why are women not more open to the idea of introducing the men that they're entertaining or that they're interested romantically to their fathers, right? Because in the video, if you go back and listen, it highlighted that this woman, she was like, well, I just don't want to go after her, and this person did me wrong, and that person did me wrong, which made me stop and ask myself, who are all these men that you are allowing to hurt you constantly over and over, and there isn't a man who is caring and loving in your life that doesn't provide some sort of level of shield to tell you, I wouldn't entertain that man, he's no good, I saw him coming before he had arrived. You know what I'm saying? I see his antics or whatever, right? Someone who doesn't have no sexual interest, brother, father, uncle, etc., right? There's that veil of protection to tell you, like, I know you like him, but I promise you, he's going to destroy you.